Yo, hello, what's up? Konnichiwa, back to the Type QQ channel as we take taking a new look, brand new look at this new game. Sort of new game. I couldn't tell you. When did it come out? Regardless. We're looking at VRun, a cool little procedurally generated, sort of glitchy virus game. Yeah, it's free. It's sort of a browser game. I saw this being played by Vinesauce and I was like, oh, this game is cool. So I figured, shit, yeah, I'll check it out as well. But as you can tell, we're this sort of like glitchy green square, firing out red bullets from one of our sides. You can kind of see how it's kind of glowing red to show you kind of where I'm aimed. And essentially, yeah, we're going through this sort of randomly generated world, shooting our way through certain rooms, kind of like Mega Man or Monolith or Isaac, like in other games. And we may come across like a store and whatnot. We may come across certain annihilation. But you can see these purple blocks here are breakable, and more often than not, they have like some sort of monies in them. I don't know. Maybe gems of some sort, but we certainly want to collect them all the same, just so we can pick up some upgrades. And that's really it. See how far we can get into this game. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's a theme for the channel, playing all these sort of weird glitchy games. You know, embracing our cyberpunk, aesthetic, I suppose. Uploading our brain into the sort of servers of the internet, a la Black Mirror, I suppose, right? Might as well just embrace it, right? Although I gotta say, some of my favorite games of all time are these type of bonkers, sort of glitchy, sort of unraveling and sort of understanding the world. Killer 7 comes to mind immediately from Grasshopper, which is like a sort of Rails, excuse me, like adventure game, shooting game, sort of third-person shooter, first-person shooter. Listen, it was strange. And I played it, I think it was on the PlayStation 2, but I think I primarily played it on the GameCube when it was first released, and that was a really great game. And really sort of blew open the genre for me, you can play Halo or Call of Duty, like, man, this is, I suppose after hours and hours of playing it, be like, this is kind of stale. But Killer 7, I really felt kind of busted it wide open with just some sort of real bonkers, like, what is going on, and an art style that really sticks with me. I think even now. I mean, heck, we're still kind of contemplating whether or not to play The Killer is Dead, but different topics for different times, I guess. Taking damage there. Excuse me. Hopefully I'm not coming down with something. I thought I had like an earache going on earlier. Like I was at work and all of a sudden, you know how sometimes like all of a sudden it feels like you have your head underwater, like one of my ears plugs and I'm like, oh, it's that weird awkward feeling where I could hear my voice. And then my ear starts hurting. I was like, yeah. I'm not nearly in the tax bracket where I can get sick and just miss a bunch of work. Luckily, after some allergy spray, I was able to clear that up right away. But hopefully, as these seasons are changing from cold, dark, and dreary to something uplifting, I hope I'm not getting sick from it. But as you can tell, we have our some meters and whatnot on the top of the screen. Not all that I'm completely sure of. I think we got a 3 there, which is our damage. And, excuse me, 3 is our hit points. I do declare. There's a blue and a red, which I believe corresponds to our gold of some variety. I have no idea though, to be completely honest. But then, yeah, our wallet, our gold is on the far right. I suppose I'll be most happy when the red bar and the blue bar are at max, I guess, right? That's how you excel in life. And ultimately, here we are as we escape through the red doors into level 2. Ultimately, don't get hit, don't be a moron, and we won't have to worry about all the stranger things of the game, right? Introduced in some of these explosive blocks, which in most cases are a bad thing to kind of interact with and activate. However, they do explode surrounding blocks that do cause money. So, you know, there's profit in destruction, I suppose. And introduces some new baddies as well. Got that little exploding block down there if we really want to test fate, but I'm not so sure what's really in the cards. Some simple baddies there. Now I did speak for a moment to say this is sort of like a Mega Man game, but as you can tell, there is a sort of odd physics with the game. You know, there's a, you know, when you jump, you kind of stay in the air and kind of hover there for a bit. So very much not like Mega Man in controls, but you get that same sort of effect. It's a sort of run and gun with all these sort of odd blocks placed around in a room. But you are more or less, yeah, hover physics as they're called generally. I mean, they do take a second or two to get used to, but after that, I think they're just fine. The rate of fire, however, that's the upgrade I want. I forget worrying about jumping around, you know, to my you know, to my oh, picking up like sort of wave beam there. Yeah, who cares about jumping to my liking, really? If I could just fire, you know, faster than 3 bullets at a time. Blowing up that side of the stage there, picking up a couple pennies. I'm not so sure if this wave beam is all that great. You know, I guess it's neither good or bad. It's just sort of like, okay, it's a slight, you know, not an upgrade or a downgrade, kind of a side grade, right? Could live with or without it, which is kind of a little upsetting because I'm sure, you know, in any other run that could have possibly been like a pretty decent weapon, but we got kind of the sort of meh. Although it could have been bad, I suppose, as well. You know, in Binding of Isaac, this sort of weapon is, or an upgrade, is just a sort of throwaway trinket, you know, where you can kind of go on without, but we're stuck with it. But like we say, much of the way of a non-factor. Blowing up that wall there, and down on the left right there is a health pickup, but god damn it, we can't get hit before taking it, so that's, you know, that's when you know I'm playing the game and not somebody else. Because, you know, in every game we play, we either take damage and then get health, or to get health and then take damage and absolutely make no progress whatsoever. Another health upgrade there. We just have to kind of tunnel our way down and across. There it is. And hey, didn't take damage that time. But definitely digging the purple aesthetic in this stage. And actually in the bottom left corner, you get to see the type of weapon we have as well. So you can see the sort of waves there, indicating the sort of the pattern our bullets are being fired with, fired at, fired on, whatever. Kind of toying with the Grim Reaper there, and I think we're just, yeah, another health upgrade. It's our fucking birthday, right? And I guess it doesn't necessarily instantly give you a free hit. Maybe when you level up your blue bar, maybe it gives you another hit point. Who knows? This is a wacky, glitchy world that just exists without explanation. Yeah, maybe not the best idea to do that right away. I think the best strategy is maybe to clear a room and then set off all the bombs, collect the money and get out, instead of having to worry about enemies and these sort of lava squares of death. Alright, so here we go. We got a shop here. At the very least, because we have 2 doors to go to now. And I've only done a couple of runs prior to this recording, so what you can do is you can actually fire one of these doors. If it gives you a glow, it's a shop. If not, it's just another... There you go. So that's the glow we're looking for. So we can pick up some luck, health, and shield. Excuse me, field. Field for 200 smackaroonies. And I've never seen field before. I have no idea what it's going to do. So we're going to... Field plus plus. So we're going to go with field. Sadly enough, it's like 1 upgrade per store, so we can't go back in and just pick up the rest because we have the money for it. There's another health upgrade. So I don't know what field does, but maybe a force field? I don't know. That's the wonder. That's the wonder and majesty of some of these games that are like, you know, they're not going to give you a tutorial. They're not going to give you too many, clues. You know, it's a glitchy hell world, and you're just going to have to make do. Another sort of double-doored room here. What would you like? We would like luck. Luck plus plus, indeed. I mean, I think maybe grabbing an upgrade out of there probably wasn't a good idea regardless, and just save our money. But maybe luck would be good. Maybe it has something to do with the percentages of us getting like pickups like the health up here. And I don't think speed particularly is anything we need. Like, we need to tempt the questionable physics in this game with just moving faster. I think that's a bad idea. Kind of wishing our wave beam would kind of get down there and hit that guy. God damn. Maybe I am finding myself caressed by the Grim Reaper. Oh, that's too bad. When the enemy touches the squares, he doesn't get hurt. Excuse me. Because that'd be almost a kind of a cool idea. It's kind of like set up these traps for the enemies. But I guess we can't have everything we want. That sort of thing. Onward and outward, all the same. And the Squeaky Chair channel, you know how it is. Goddamn thing. See, that's why YouTube has to monetize my channel. So I can... My first purchase is not necessarily supporting the channel, but just to get me a goddamn computer chair that doesn't squeak every time I put an ounce of pressure on it. Level 3 eraser. And immediately we're seeing some of these more, these dead spaces come up a little bit more. These sort of red blocks of pain and suffering. I mean, we may have 7 hit points, but I you know, you don't want to test it too much. Especially where you're such a bright, shiny face. Such a newbie to this universe. I love the gray and orange. It almost looks like you're in like a pyramid with some like hieroglyphics, that sort of thing. Despite the fact that it's all just sort of corruption, you know, and just sort of random graphics. Just about up to 160 fun bucks. Well, there we are, 163 now, with another health upgrade down there, provided we can get through some of these perilous enemies. With a new enemy here, this sort of kind of chasing enemy, this chaser, as it were, I suppose. He kind of telegraphs his movement and comes darting after you. So he was just kind of out of our sort of wave beam. Luckily we were able to take him down there. And maybe an upgraded version of the ones we were just facing, with these sort of sentry bots that kind of bob back and forth. Take a lot of damage, but luckily so is that. Oh, wrong way. Got to go up. And I mean, it's great to see that, you know, once we beat a level, we've actually beat the level. You know, even if you go the wrong way, you're not hindering yourself by exploring a little bit and not having to do the level over again. Picking up a plus sign there, which I thought maybe was a health upgrade of some variety. You know, in retrospect, you know, that's certainly not a health upgrade, but now we have a sort of plus shot. Fires in, like, you know, all the compass directions. And, you know, sure, that's great, I suppose, but the rate of fire, which we were already complaining about, is now dropped drastically. So, you know, it's taken account of the fact that now we're shooting four shots just in separate directions. So now we're firing slower. So it's like, oh, we're kind of complaining about our last gun, and now we've picked up one that's worse. So I suppose if we're going to continue with this game, you know, which certainly is a possibility if this is kind of something that people enjoy. And, you know, it's also it's randomly made and procedurally generated. That certainly could be a possibility to kind of get some more play out of this. And we have to remember that these last two guns are not so good. Health upgrade. We'll certainly want that before. And we're kind of seeing how there's a difference between the orange doors that kind of allow you to move freely, and then the green lock doors that kind of require you to kill everything before you can progress. So you can see these sort of enemies that kind of warp and chase you down, kind of corner you in between some, you know, locked doors. So in essence, we could just kind of dart through this room. Hey, there we go. Speaking of traps, there we are. However, not really going to claim the spoils of war there. Not really going to test our luck. Not for just some pennies, you know. It's not like our upgrade rooms, or our stores for that matter, have been really that spectacular. So there's no sense really risking our necks for oh no, there's some damage there. This room particularly tricky. Seen some of these rooms duplicated over and over. I mean, it's not too bad, but it is noticeable. And overall, not so bad if they're going to be giving us health as well. Because currently sitting at 2 points right now, not the highest ever. And I would guess maybe that means we're maybe just on the cusp of getting a third hit. I'm guessing if that blue bar can level up. Yeah, I think we're kind of understanding how that bar works. If we can get enough pickups and whatnot to cap that over, because you can see some of the blue pennies are not currency but little health upgrades that add on to that bar as well. However, Jesus Christ, maybe some nimble move there. We are on death's door if we can not find a way to get run over by these enemies here. Alright, we live for another day. Oh, okay. Well, that day is today. So there's death. And maybe only because we got that goddamn four-way shot that, not so good. But yeah, that's going to be it for this video. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, do all that stuff. And we'll come back and play some more VRun in the future.